Hi and welcome to Jeddah. I'm taking a bit of a stroll through Al Balad, the historical center of Jeddah. And while I'm doing that, I thought I'm going to give you a few fun facts about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that you may not have on your radar yet. And some of those facts might be surprising to you. So let's get right into it. Saudi Arabia is the 14th largest country in the world and has a population of about 35 million. The country has a really impressive literacy rate with 97% of the adult population age 15 and up. Around 95% of Saudi Arabia is desert, and the Arabian Desert is one of the largest on earth. It spills across Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen, and Saudi Arabia, covering a total of 2.3 million square kilometers. Saudi Arabia's capital is Riyadh, which boasts over 5 million people. And the name Riyadh stems from garden, from the many little oases that used to be splattered around the area of Riyadh 500 years ago. From the early 16th century to the early 20th century, Saudi Arabia used to be part of the Ottoman Empire and only got declared the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 1932. That's when Ibn Saud proclaimed himself as King Abdulaziz, and the Al Saud dynasty has ruled ever since and holds a monopoly of political power here in the country. The Saudi king is also called the custodian of the two holy mosques that exist here in Mecca and Medina. Saudi Arabia is of course the birthplace of Islam. Mecca is one of the three holy sites in the religion of Islam, together with Medina and Jerusalem. Mecca nowadays has a population of about 2 million, but during the month of the Hajj that swells up to 4.5 million and more. You can imagine the infrastructure and logistics that are needed to manage such an influx of people every year. So another fun fact is that Saudi Arabia is the largest oil producer in the world and is also believed to have the largest oil reserves of the world. The kingdom possesses approximately 16% of all proven petroleum reserves on Earth, and the Gabar oil field, Al-Aqsa, is the largest oil reserve in the world. As of 2019, the petroleum sector accounts for around 87% of the government budget revenues, but the government is also trying to change that and diversify the sectors more and puts a big premium on tourism. And there's lots of investments going on into tourism, and large projects are going to be presented to the world soon. Not surprisingly, Saudi Arabia is one of the largest date producers in the world. I believe it ranks third of all the countries that produce dates, but in my humble opinion, it has some of the most yummy dates that you can find on this planet. and you definitely want to check those out. And have a look at my video on the Saudi dates if you haven't seen it yet. Another fun fact is that camels are a big thing here in the country, and as soon as you travel a little bit outside of the larger cities, you're going to come across camels. They're pretty much everywhere in the country, and it's just a beautiful sight to see them. When we talk about clothing, the national dress for women is the black abaya, and when you come to Saudi Arabia, that's what you frequently see the women here wear. But dresses have changed quite a bit over the past few years, as women also now wear all kinds of other clothing, including Western clothing, especially at home. Saudi Arabia is the only country in the world that has a very special flag that displays an inscription as the main principle of its design. What you find on the flag is the Arabic written Shahada. The tallest flagpole in the world is also located in Saudi Arabia, and it's actually located here in Jeddah at 171 meters or 561 feet. The Jeddah flagpole was erected in 2014 and stands truly tall here in Jeddah. The King Fahd's fountain here in Jeddah is the tallest in the world. It's a truly remarkable sight and gushes its water fountain 312 meters high. It was only completed in 1985. Another world record in terms of building and height is located in Makkah. The Abraj Al Bait Towers in Makkah holds the record for the world's tallest clock tower. In addition, it's also the world's tallest hotel and the world's largest clock face at 43 meters in diameter. The Abraj Al Bait Towers in Makkah stand at 601 meters high, which also makes this the highest clock above ground level in the world. And as a fun fact, the 43 meters diameter of the clock face is 6 times larger than Big Ben's in London. You hungry? You look hungry, huh? Would you like something to eat? Let me get you something to eat. There are cats everywhere in Jeddah, the city of cats. So let's talk a bit Saudi food. Saudi cuisine is unique because it encompasses a wide range of hearty and warm dishes that are very much influenced by Saudi's nomadic past. Most dishes feature meat, bread, rice, and spices. And of course, the national dish is kabsa, which is a combination of roast chicken and aromatic rice. And you'll find that dish pretty much in all good traditional restaurants here in the country. Did you know that Saudi Arabia has the largest desalination plant in the world? It's located here at the Red Sea. The Al Jubail treats over 1.4 million cubic meters of water every day. Nevertheless, a liter of bottled water is more expensive than a liter of petrol here in Saudi Arabia, which is really interesting. You having breakfast?
Yes.
Have a good breakfast. Thank you.
Yes.
The calendar that is used here in Saudi Arabia is the Islamic calendar, and that is organized by the Hijra. The starting date of this calendar is 622 AD, which is the year the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam moved to Medina from Mecca. Islamic years are represented as Anno Hijirai, AH, which differs from the AD that is used in the Christian calendar. The Arabic name for coffee is gawa, and this word was later adopted in Arabic to mean a substance that prevents sleep. The first coffee shops in Saudi Arabia were opened in the mid-16th century in Makkah. Let's talk a little bit about the language that is used here in Saudi Arabia. Arabic is one of the oldest language groups in the world and is also one of the most widely spoken languages in the world, being spoken by over 200 million people in over 20 countries. There are even some English words that are derived from the Arabic language. Those include, for example, algebra, tangerine, zero, tariff, arsenal, sugar, lime, and guitar. Now let's talk a little bit about driving, because that is one of the fun facts that are actually not so fun. Saudi Arabia is one of the most dangerous countries in the world when it comes to driving. It's followed closely by South Africa, Thailand, and Malaysia. And stay tuned on my channel for my series on Malaysia, where I'm going to cover some of the many fascinating facets of this beautiful country as well. If you're looking for pork products or alcohol, you're not going to find those in Saudi Arabia. It's actually forbidden to sell them here, which is not a big problem for me because I don't drink and I don't eat pork anyway. But if that's something that you absolutely need in your life, you're going to have a bit of a hard time here in the country. One of the reasons why many of the stores are closed today is because it's a Friday, and Friday is the first day of the weekend here in Saudi Arabia. The weekend used to be Thursday and Friday and got changed a few years back to be now Friday and Saturday. And the reason for that was that the country wanted to align the weekend a little bit more with the rest of the world. But if you come on a Friday, that is the most important day for prayer in Islam, and especially during the lunchtime, everything will be closed because people will go to do their Friday salat, the Friday prayers. But even now, in the morning hours, as you can tell, the place still looks pretty deserted on a Friday morning. Saudi Arabia has a poverty rate of 12.7% as of 2017 and has the lowest recorded poverty rate in the Middle East and the 10th lowest poverty rate in the world. Interestingly, Saudi Arabia has the 5th highest net migration in the world, measured over a 5-year period. Over 1.7 million more people moved to Saudi Arabia than left the country. And that means that the country is obviously a very attractive place to live in. And while I've never actually lived here, I can imagine why that is, because the infrastructure is excellent, the food is fantastic, and the only thing that you have to get used to is the high temperatures, especially in the summer months. I imagine the country is particularly attractive for Muslims, and imagine you can just go on Umrah anytime you want. If you live here in Jeddah, it's a half-an-hour drive to Makkah, and that is of course something that is just unbeatable. Saudi Arabia is heavily reliant on foreign labor. 60% of the Saudi workforce is made up of foreigners, and most Saudis work in the public sector, as they currently still have fairly little incentive to join the private sector. All right, that was my little collection of fun facts on Saudi Arabia as we were walking through Al Balad Historic District here in Jeddah. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. What other fun facts on Saudi Arabia should I include in my list? Please put those down in the comments. And also check out my other videos on beautiful Saudi Arabia. There's so much to explore in this really fascinating country. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope I see you next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.